Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip, as I do keep you up to date of the latest news of what players of course are linked with Manchester United. So obviously as to give you the breaking news earlier on, of course Daniel James' move to Manchester United is very imminent, of course. Obviously set to complete his medical today. Obviously Manchester United agreed around an initial £15 million fee. Obviously there's add-ons included, so obviously it does rise to around £18 million, so we are set to sign him for just under £20 million, of course. But obviously reports came out about this last month, saying that Manchester United were closing in on around a £15 million deal for Daniel James. So obviously he's going to be our first signing this summer. Obviously he's going to be our first signing under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, so this is very good news indeed. Obviously the move has been a bit of a delay, obviously based on his father passing away the other week, and obviously Manchester United have allowed in that time space that he does currently need. So obviously he's only got a year left on his deal with Swansea. I think it was only his first season last season in the senior squad with Swansea. I think he played about 38 or was it 39 games, and he did really well indeed. So he's going to be our first signing this summer. As you all know, he is primarily a winner. He's Daniel James. He's supposed to be more effective from that left hand side, so I think that's where Manchester United of course will put him. Like I said though, he's a low expectation. He's a cheap acquisition. Quite a few teams went in for him. Right at the final hurdle. Obviously Brighton inquired about his services. Leeds were on the brink of getting him in January, and obviously Everton of course had inquired about his services. So quite a few teams have been in there for him, but obviously his preferred destination of course is Manchester United. So like I said, he's supposed to be more effective from that left hand side. Initially Swansea got him from Hull, back in 2014. So obviously he graduated from Swansea's youth system, did Daniel James. But the question is, has he got the abilities? Has he got the minerals to make it to the highest level? Of course, because he's taken a huge step. Is Daniel James. Coming from the Championship, to the Premier League. And like I said, he's going to fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, perfectly, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recommend young players to Manchester United this summer. So looking at £15 million is a reasonable figure, because like I said, it's not always about spending big on players. It's not always about getting them Galactico players, because it doesn't always of course guarantee you success. You can get the best players in the world. If they're not playing as a unit and they're not playing as a team, it's not going to get you in that commanding position, of course, where you do currently want to be. So we know he's supposed to be more effective from that left hand side. But like I said about Daniel James, he's set to complete his medical today. I have got some strong reservations about him though. He's not really good in the air. He's not really good at tracking back, but he is good at cutting out from that flank. Is Daniel James. He can score goals, as he demonstrated throughout the course of last season with Swansea. So I hope he can succeed at Manchester United, of course, and I hope he can exceed expectation levels. But as you all know now, people are going to say, what we're going to do with Anthony Martial, because we know he mainly plays on the left. I think we'll consider probably putting Anthony Martial in more of a central position. Obviously, I know as well that Rashford can play out wide, but Rashford obviously supposed to be more effective, centrally, of course. So we do know Daniel James to Manchester United now is imminent, but obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer. Obviously, wants to full areas where he thinks Manchester United are lacking. Obviously, he's going to get a spending fee from between 200 or 250 million pounds. But like I said, that should be enough for us to get at least 5 players on the board. Depending on how we are with our recruitment this summer. But there's a number of players, of course, on our agenda that are available for a reasonable figure, of course. But he can pinpoint the areas where Manchester United, of course, are lacking. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is working on trying to bring players in who he thinks are going to fit the culture and the history of the club, and he's also working on bringing players in who he thinks have got that work ethic and that physicality, of course. And I think we need to get the right players that have got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still believes we can attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But I do agree, that we do need a structural change at the club, and that's obviously, getting a director of footballing. Obviously, we've got to get a director of footballing before the start of next season, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need backing this summer. There has been quite a few candidate names mentioned, but it would be ideal to recommend someone, of course, who knows the culture of the club, of course, someone who, of course, has got the experience as well. So we are looking to get a director of footballing. I think probably 3 or 4 players are expected to leave Manchester United this summer, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding, because obviously, none of this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. But like I said, a lot of people said if we get the right players to Manchester United this summer, they do believe we can win the league next season. I don't think we'll win the league next season, because I think we're a number of years off, from mounting any kind of title challenge up. I do believe in the next couple of seasons, our aspirations is going to be that top four. I think our expectations going on into next season, will be, probably, finish in the top four, maybe win the Carabao Cup, maybe win the Europa League. And obviously at the moment, City strides ahead of us, Liverpool strides ahead of us, so it's very imperative, that we catch up with the likes of City and Liverpool, of course. And I do presume that City will invest this summer, even though they have spent a hell of a lot of money under Pep Guardiola. Liverpool had a good window last summer, they spent quite a bit of money, but I think they will invest this summer. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well is working on trying to keep his imperative players in the football club, and obviously one of his imperative players, of course, is Paul Pogba, and I think he's doing everything he can, to try and convince Paul Pogba to remain at the football club. But like I said, based on the huge transfer fee we put on Pogba, also based on the huge transfer fee that we have put on Romelu Lukaku, this could be, the stumbling block of Lukaku leaving and Paul Pogba leaving. But like I said, it's £250 million I think we are getting, but obviously it's going to mount up to a lot more than that, if we cash in for Pogba, if we cash in for Romelu Lukaku. I think another problem with Manchester United, we have let far too many players' contracts run down. Obviously, that's been a problem. Rashford's in the final year of his deal. We have been in talks of trying to get Marcus Rashford a new contract. Obviously, I don't think Manchester United are orchestrating on selling Marcus Rashford, because we do know he is the long-term solution for Manchester United, even though he has been inconsistent in the last couple of months, Rashford. But like I said, he's still the long-term solution for Manchester United. And it's going to take Rashford a couple of years, to get into that level, where he currently wants to be. He's only very young. He's 21 years of age, and he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. But he's in the final year of his deal, so hopefully we can come to the agreement to get him a new contract. Obviously, Juan Mata's coming to end of his contract. It's looking very imminent that Juan Mata's going to be leaving the club, because obviously, we failed to agree a contract extension for Juan Mata, so looking likely he's going to be leaving. Obviously, De Gea's in the final year of his contract. Obviously, as I've updated you today on a regular basis about David De Gea, it's looking very imminent. He's going to be leaving. I think now PSG have to step their interest up in David De Gea, because obviously, Buffon is set to leave PSG. I think it did initially say that PSG are preparing to put a bid in for De Gea of around £60 million. Obviously, Manchester United want David De Gea to remain at the club, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative David De Gea is. He's been a long servant at Manchester United, and he's done really, really well indeed. But obviously, we can't come to an agreement to get him a new contract, because I think we've been in the process of trying to get him a new contract now, at least for the year and a half. But obviously, De Gea said he wants 350 grand a week. Obviously, we are reluctant, to pay David De Gea's £350,000 a week wages, so we're not willing to meet his wage demands. Reportedly, PSG are willing to meet his wage demands. So I think it did initially say PSG are preparing to put a £60 million bid in for him. Obviously, we want to cash in for De Gea this summer rather than letting go on a free transfer next year, because it would be a calamity, if we let David De Gea go on a free transfer next year. We can't let him go on a free transfer next year, and I do believe at full value David De Gea for a goalkeeper is definitely worth £100 million, but we're not going to get £100 million for David De Gea, because obviously he's in the final year of his contract. Like I said, he's been here 8 years. He has made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions. He's won everything domestically. He has been here since the Alex Ferguson era as David De Gea, and I do really, really like him a lot. I do want him to remain at the football club. He's been loyal to us for 8 years. He has still got quite a lot of development in him. He's 28 years of age, De Gea, so I still believe he's got maybe about 3 or 4 years at least left in him. We do know Real Madrid have been long admirers of him. Obviously, Real Madrid have been linked to him a number of years. Real Madrid were on the brink of getting De Gea back in 2015, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. I think also Juventus have expressed their interest in David De Gea, so it's looking likely he's going to be going. And like I said, if he leaves, we do need to buy a goalkeeper to replace David De Gea. I don't think it's in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans to buy a goalkeeper to replace David De Gea. I think he's willing to promote Sergio Romero as our number 1 goalkeeper, but like I said, I think Romero's good, but I don't know if he's reliable enough yet, to become our number 1 goalkeeper. He did well in the FA Cup games last season, but like I said, I know we've got Dean Henderson, but he's too inexperienced at the moment. He needs to gain a bit more experience as Dean Henderson. Obviously, he's been on loan with Sheffield United, so we have let far too many players their contracts run down. Let Ander Herrera go on a free transfer. That was a bad mistake for Manchester United. I think it was a bad mistake as well, giving small Smalling a new long-term contract, you know, giving Phil Jones a new long-term contract. You know, they have been 2 long-serving players at the club, but I just don't think they're no longer good enough to represent Manchester United. And, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, with how long Smalling and Jones have been at Manchester United, you know, they have demonstrated in the years, you know, that they can play well and that they can hold the line very, very well. But like I said, they're too inconsistent now. And comparing Smalling and Jones, I think Smalling is a much, much better defender than Phil Jones. But this is why I said we need 2 central defenders, because Smalling and Jones are no longer good enough for Manchester United. So you can see the deficiencies in the squad. And like I said, I think one of the priority areas, of course, we've got to strengthen up is that right back position, of course, because obviously, you know, Ashley Young has no longer got the, you know, he's no longer got that ability, you know, to fulfil that right back position. That's why we have got quite a few right backs on our agenda. But Ashley Young now is past his sell by date. You know, he's 33 years of age. Obviously, you know, sorry about that. Obviously, you know, last season he was our first choice right back was Ashley Young. But like I said, you know, we need to get rid of Ashley Young. It was a bad mistake for Manchester United, you know, giving him a new 1-year extension. Obviously, Ashley Young's been a long-serving player with the club. You know, he's been here 8 years. I think he's made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions, but he hasn't got that ability anymore to, you know, to fulfil that right back position. Obviously, you know, we're going to need a replacement for Antonio Valencia, because we know he's leaving the club this summer. Obviously, he's served 10 years at Manchester United. I think he's been a longest serving player at the club as Antonio Valencia. Recently, anyway, he's been here 10 years, of course, made over 300 appearances in all competitions. I know he's going to be leaving the club, Valencia, but I don't know where his next destination is going to be. You know, is he going to Ecuador? You know, is he retiring? I'm not too sure, but we're going to need a replacement for him, and we also need a cover up for Diego Dalot. I really like Diego Dalot a lot. Obviously, you know, we got Diego Dalot last summer, but obviously, you know, we didn't really spend much last summer, because obviously, you know, we didn't get his #1 targets last summer, because obviously when we had Mourinho, the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend her to come in. I think we got Diego Dalot for around £19 million from Porto, but he did demonstrate last season, you know, he can play really, really well, Diego Dalot. He is the upcoming future, but we do need a cover up for Diego Dalot. So obviously, you know, the right backs we have currently looked at is obviously, you know, PSG's Thomas Meunier, as I've been giving you an update about him on a regular basis, and I do think he'd be a great addition to the squad, you know, if he was to come in. I think from Thomas Meunier's perspective, he's keen on making the move to Manchester United, and I think it did get revealed he has been a Manchester United fan since he was a child. It has been Manchester United and Arsenal that have been in for Thomas Meunier, but I think Thomas Meunier, you know, prefers the move to Manchester United. So Thomas Meunier is 27 years of age. He has still got quite a lot of development in him, and I do believe he's still got at least 3 or 4 years in him as Thomas Meunier. Obviously, he hasn't played in the Premier League yet, but looking at it from a financial point of view, you know, he's available for a reasonable figure. And obviously, I know we've been interested in Wan-Bissaka, and it should be really Wan-Bissaka that is our first, is our basically, you know, #1. But like I said, you know, looking at Thomas Meunier is going to substantially, you know, cost us a lot less than Wan-Bissaka. So I do believe now we have, you know, prioritised Thomas Meunier over Wan-Bissaka, even though I still believe that Wan-Bissaka, of course, is on our agenda. But Thomas Meunier is 27. Obviously, he's only got a year left on his deal with PSG. I think he's been at PSG about 3 years now, made about 101 appearances. I think, obviously, you know, PSG got him from Club Brugge for around £5 million back in 2016. But maybe Arsenal have inquired about his services, because they've got problems defensively like Manchester United, and obviously, you know, he's played under Unai Emery's Thomas Meunier, so maybe Unai Emery may be keen on reuniting with the player. Actually, Thomas Meunier found himself more of a first team starter. Thomas Meunier found himself more of a first team starter, you know, when obviously, you know, Unai Emery is there. But since Emery's left PSG, you know, Thomas Meunier has found himself served his 2 requirements, and maybe this is the main reason why Thomas Meunier is linked with a move away from PSG, but I think he's going to be definitely leaving. I think the quoted fee is around £25 million that PSG do want, but it did say the other day he's set to join Manchester United in a deal with around £22 million. But I think it'd be fantastic for us. You know, I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years, of course. He is predominantly a right back. He can also play in other positions, so he's very versatile. You know, he's got goals in him, he's got assists in him, so there has been a lot of talks about him going on, so it's looking very imminent of what I've recently read about him, that he's coming to Manchester United's Meunier. You know, don't get me wrong, you know, a lot of this, you know, story, you know, could be stemming from his current agent, but it has been Manchester United and Arsenal that have been in for Meunier. Like I said as well about Wan-Bissaka, obviously, you know, he's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets, and I really, really like Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, reports came out last week, was it, saying that Crystal Palace want around 60 or 70 million pounds for him. I think Manchester United are reluctant, you know, to pay that much for him, obviously, when Thomas Meunier is available for around £22 million. But yeah, I really like Wan-Bissaka. You know, he's proven in the Premier League, of course. He's only been in Crystal Palace's senior squad now. Is it about, what, 14 or 15 months or something? Because he broke into Crystal Palace's senior squad in February of last year. And he has done really well indeed, as Wan-Bissaka. You know, he's become an integral part of Crystal Palace's squad. Only very young, you know, 21 years of age. And I'd love him to come to Manchester United, of course. But reportedly, Crystal Palace want around 60 or 70 million pounds for him. He has still got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. So far, he has spent the entirety of his career with Crystal Palace. But obviously, if he doesn't leave Crystal Palace this summer, obviously at some point in his career, he'll want to take his footballing career to the next level. Initially, when he was younger, Wan-Bissaka, he was actually, you know, he was a winger. But obviously, as he was developing in that and, you know, growing and stuff, you know, obviously, you know, he got rotated as a right back. And I think now Wan-Bissaka is regarded as one of the best right backs in the Premier League. So I would love Wan-Bissaka at Manchester United. So we have showed an interest in quite a few right backs, because that's obviously one of the areas where Manchester United, of course, need to strengthen up. But as I've been saying to you guys, that we need two central defenders. As you all know, I've obviously, you know, been giving you know the latest news of what's going on within regards to Matthijs de Ligt for Mike's, because I think we have now emerged him as a priority target. Like I said, I don't think Matthijs de Ligt yet has made a current decision on his future. I think he's been urged to make a decision on his future, you know, sometime this week. Obviously, I think, as it said, was it 3 or 4 days ago, he was set to inform Manchester United about a decision on his future in the coming days, because we do know Manchester United have been heavily linked with him. Also, Barcelona have been in for him, Liverpool, Manchester City have been previously in for him, Juventus, PSG. So there's so many teams that have inquired about his services, because it is looking imminent that he is going to be leaving Ajax, but it still remains uncertain, you know, where he will be applying his trade next season. So he has been widely spoken about throughout the course of this window, and he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculations, Matthijs de Ligt. But recent reports did say that you know, he said basically Matthijs de Ligt has got several options on the table, so he's aware of the speculation, and he did basically say, you know, he suggested that he's got a preferred option, but it hasn't been revealed yet, you know, which club that is. I think he did, for the last week, Manchester United have been emerged as the front runners, you know, to currently get a deal over the line for Matthijs de Ligt. But I think it's come out of the Metro today, or was it yesterday, saying that reportedly he has ruled out a move now to Manchester United, because obviously, you know, we haven't got a Champions League football next season, even though Manchester United have been heavily linked to him, because I do believe he would address our defensive deficiencies fantastically well. It did reportedly say, you know, we have offered him a lucrative contract, you know, worth up to £350,000 a week. Obviously, you know, this equates to almost £17 million a year. And obviously, if this was to process, you know, this would make Matthijs de Ligt, you know, one of the highest paid players at Manchester United. Obviously, the highest paid teenager in world football. But obviously, you know, I think for at least the last couple of months, you know, Barcelona have been in the tendency of getting a deal over the line for Matthijs de Ligt. Obviously, you know, reports came out last week saying that talks had stalled, you know, between Barcelona and Matthijs de Ligt, you know, because obviously, you know, they struggled to come to an agreement on the terms. Obviously, you know, Barcelona were not willing to meet the financial demands of what de Ligt were demanding, of what his agent, of course, Raiola was demanding, even though some reports were speculating, you know, saying that, you know, Matthijs de Ligt to Barcelona, his transfer is a done deal and all that, and he said obviously an initial fee had been agreed. But yeah, I still believe that Barcelona are probably considered to be one of the favourites to currently get the player's signature. Obviously, Barcelona have already got a deal over the line for his current teammate, Frankie de Jong, who Barcelona, of course, got for around £65 million. But we do know in terms of the transfer fees, Matthijs de Ligt is going to probably cost you between probably 70 or £75 million, because that's what he's initially rated at. Recent reports did say that Juventus had put a bid in for him of around £75 million. So there has been so many teams in there for him. There has been so many teams in there for him, of course, so he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. But reports have come out today saying that his agent, Raiola, has actually, you know, urged his client, you know, Matthijs de Ligt, to actually, you know, to join Liverpool over Manchester United and Barcelona, because we do know that Liverpool, of course, have been in there for Matthijs de Ligt. And I think the main factor reason why Liverpool are interested in him, because obviously, you know, they've got Virgil van Dijk, and Virgil van Dijk and Matthijs de Ligt, you know each other really, really well, because obviously, you know, they're both Dutch, they're both playing the Netherlands national team. And I think this is the main factor reason why Liverpool, of course, have expressed their interest in Matthijs de Ligt. But I think from his age, you know, from Raiola's current preference, I think he wants him, you know, to currently join Liverpool. So definitely Liverpool are in there for him. Obviously, you know, Manchester City, of course, have been previously linked with him, because obviously, you know, they're looking for a replacement for Vincent Kompany in their back line. Obviously, he left Manchester City after spending 11 years with them. But yeah, so many teams have been in there for him, but I think it still remains uncertain, you know, where he will be applying his trade next season. Obviously, you know, Matty Stillett enjoyed a very good season last season with Ajax, of course, winning the domestic double for the first time in 17 years. Of course, winning the Eredivisie title for the first time in 5 years, and of course, progressing to the Champions League semi-final. So he enjoyed a very good season last season with Ajax. Obviously, so far he has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. You know, he's been in Ajax play since the age of 8, the age of 9, and he has progressed up the ranks fantastically well. I think he's been in their senior squad, you know, since the age of 17. That's when he made his senior debut. I think he got given the captain's armband at just the age of 18. And he has become an integral part of Ajax's squad. I think he's made about 117 senior appearances, as Matty said earlier. But he did currently say the other day that he was close to making a final decision on his future. So I think it should be announced sometime this week, you know, where his current future lies. So I think he's going to be definitely leaving Ajax because, like I said, if he comes to the Premier League, it's going to take his footballing career to the next level. And I do believe he would exceed expectation levels in the Premier League, you know, really, really well with Matty Stillett. But he would address our defensive deficiencies fantastically well. You know, he would blend in alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line really, really well, because I think Victor Lindelof's performances, you know, were really, really good last season. He played really, really well. His distribution was good. He was holding his line really, really well. Struggled in his first season with Manchester United, did Lindelof, you know, don't get me wrong, he was a bit inconsistent in his first season, didn't really settle in, but in his second season, you know, did really, really well. So we need someone that can go alongside him. But like I said, it's probably looking very imminent that probably, you know, Matthias Darmian and Rojo are going to be leaving Manchester United. Like I said, at an estimated guess, you know, we can get around 25 or 30 million pounds for Matthias Darmian and Marcus Rojo. As I've been giving you an update as well of quite a few midfielders that have been on Manchester United's agenda. Like I said, if Paul Pogba, you know, does leave the club, I've just, you know, I said basically, you know, we need 3 new additions in that midfield. But like I said, if we're cashing for Pogba and that, and, you know, we're cashing for Lukaku, you know, it's going to help us with our transition, and it's going to help us with our rebuilding process. But, you know, talking about Paul Pogba, obviously, you know, he's been heavily linked to a move to Real Madrid. Obviously, you know, recent reports have said that Juventus are interested in re-signing Paul Pogba, but I think Paul Pogba's first choice preference is, you know, is actually Real Madrid, of course. But like I said, Juventus probably wouldn't be able to get Paul Pogba outright. I think they'd have to offload a couple of their essential players to, you know, fund the move for Paul Pogba, even though he did basically say this is coming from Damasio, the Italian journalist, who was very reliable, especially in relation to Manchester United. And when it does come to transfers, you know, he said Juventus have been in contact with Manchester United. It also says Juventus have been in negotiations with his agent Raiola. And I think probably, you know, Paul Pogba would be open to making the return back to Turin. Don't forget, he had 4 good years in Turin, did Paul Pogba, and he exceeded expectation levels, but he hasn't really replicated this form at Manchester United. Obviously, you know, we paid £89 million for him back in 2016, of course, but he hasn't really been the fundamental player at Manchester United as we all thought he would have been. Like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing everything to try and convince him to stay at the club. Obviously, he came out the other week saying that we was willing to offer him the captaincy in a bid to convince him to remain at the club, but I don't think this is going to be enough to convince Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United. Obviously, he's got 3 years left on his contract. I think his agent Raiola, at least in the last 5 or 6 weeks, has been in the process of finding him a new club. But like I said, I think he was subjected to a lot of transfer speculation last year, you know, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho. Obviously, you know, he was linked to his former club Juventus last year. He was also linked to a move to Barcelona last year because he had a really bad relationship with Jose Mourinho. And obviously, Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes, of course, when Jose Mourinho got sacked from the club. But like I said, Paul Pogba's got 3 years left on his contract. I think, you know, based on the huge transfer fee that we have put on him, you know, this could be the stumbling block of Paul Pogba making his move to Madrid or Juventus. And I think now Real Madrid have orchestrated something out, and I don't think Florentino Perez is keen on a straight cash payment for Paul Pogba. And I think it's come out in the press in the last couple of days, at least, should I say, that Real Madrid are willing to offer up to 3 of their players to fund the move for Paul Pogba. And obviously, the 3 players that got mentioned was obviously, you know, Gareth Bale, you know, James Rodriguez, and Keylor Navas. Whether Manchester United will be willing to go along with this or not, I do not know. But Manchester United don't even want to sell him because we know how much of an imperative player he is. But if he is to be sold, I think we want around 150 or 160 million pounds. But I think Real Madrid are reluctant, you know, to pay up to 150 or 160 million pounds for him. And obviously, you know, Zinedine Zidane has got a lot of players on his agenda this summer. But obviously, you know, he's identified his 2 main priority targets, and that's obviously, you know, Paul Pogba and Chelsea's Eden Hazard. So basically, Zinedine Zidane has instructed his Real Madrid board, you know, to prioritise a transfer for Paul Pogba, you know, because obviously he wants to link Paul Pogba with Casemiro in his Real Madrid midfield. But reports came out the other week, these were coming from a lot of Spanish outlets, you know, saying that, you know, basically Paul Pogba to Real Madrid is practically done. It basically said that Paul Pogba's agreed to take a massive pay cut on his 13 million a year wages, because obviously, you know, he's, you know, Real Madrid were not willing to meet his 13 million a year wages. So I think he did say Paul Pogba was happy, you know, taking a pay cut, sorry. But obviously, you know, they haven't come to an agreement on an initial fee, and this obviously, you know, seems to be the stumbling block at the moment. Obviously, you know, we had Paul Pogba, you know, when he was a lot younger, obviously under the Alex Ferguson era. You know, we obviously got him from Lee Harvey in 2009. Obviously progressed up the ranks for a couple of years, and then a couple of years later went on to make a couple of first team appearances. But based on limited appearances under Alex Ferguson, obviously, you know, we'll let Paul Pogba go on a free transfer, and then obviously went and had 4 good years in Juventus. But let's be honest, he hasn't really exceeded expectation levels at Manchester United. Like I said, though, I think Bruno Fernandes, you know, would be the adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. Obviously, you know, Bruno Fernandes has been on Manchester United's agenda, you know, for quite some time. Obviously, you know, he's a primarily an attacking midfielder, is Bruno Fernandes. I think his move now to Manchester United is looking very, very imminent indeed. I think Manchester United have scheduled a meeting, you know, with Sporting Lisbon, I think, for next week, you know, to get a deal finalised for Bruno Fernandes. I think he's set... if I'm right, I think we're going to get him in a deal with around, is it 70 or 71 million pounds. Obviously, we're doing it as being Manchester United and Manchester City that have been battling it out for Bruno Fernandes. But I think now we are emerged as the front runners, you know, to currently get the player's signature, because obviously, you know, now it does say according to the Metro and all that City are no longer interested in Bruno Fernandes, so they have pulled themselves out of the race. Manchester United are willing to offer more than Manchester City, because it did say City were only willing to offer up to like, what, 40 odd million pounds for him, but it did say City were willing to offload a couple of their players as part of the deal. But I think Bruno Fernandes would be fantastic for us. Like I said, he's 24 years of age, got a hell of a lot of development in him, but he has done good in his couple of years with Sporting Lisbon. You know, he has exceeded expectation levels, and I do believe he can replicate this if he comes to the Premier League. And obviously he's going to want to take his footballing career to the next level. Initially his release clause is around £86 million in his contract with Sporting Lisbon, but obviously, you know, Manchester United and Manchester City are not willing to trigger his £86 million release clause, as that's been, you know, bluntly, you know, made clear. Obviously he had a lot of experience of playing in Italy, you know, when he was younger, with the likes of San Pandora and Underneath, and and he has done really, really well as Bruno Fernandes. And he gave us an update on his future the other week, you know, saying that he's unsure about his future. He doesn't know if he's going to be remaining loyal to, you know, to Sporting Lisbon. He doesn't know if he's going to be serving a third year with Sporting Lisbon, but I think, yeah, he's going to be playing his trade in the Premier League next season. Initially we wanted to get a deal finalised for him this week, but I think we have scheduled a meeting for next week, you know, to come to an agreement on an initial fee. So I think we had to set to get him for around £70 million, and obviously, you know, he's going to be the adequate replacement for Paul Pogba, but he can score goals, he can provide, and I think he will dramatically improve our midfield Bruno Fernandes. So that's looking very, very imminent indeed. But according to a board, the Portuguese press was it the other week, you know, they were saying that City are emerged as a front runners, you know, to get a deal over the line for him. But actually now there's been a change of scenery, and it does now say Manchester United, of course, are the favourites. He does say now Manchester United, of course, are the favourites. And as I've been giving you an update regularly on James Maddison from Leicester, obviously, you know, there's been a lot of positive news coming out about him in the last couple of days. Obviously, the likes of City have been in for him, you know, Liverpool have been in for him, Tottenham have been in for him. So I think they've been, you know, linked to him for quite a lot of years now. I think they've been, you know, tracking him, you know, since he was a teenager at Coventry. But I like James Maddison a lot. He's obviously Premier League proven. Obviously, he's had a year of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Obviously, you know, did really, really well with Leicester last season. He exceeded expectation levels, you know, did James Maddison. Reports came out, well, they have been coming out the last couple of days, you know, saying that we have emerged James Maddison as a priority target. He's only 22 years of age. He's also British, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has emphasised in interest in quite a few British players. He did initially say Manchester United had made contact with James Maddison and his representatives over the potential summer transfer, over a potential move to Old Trafford. But he did reportedly say Leicester want around £60 million for him. But I think Manchester United are more than happy to pay £60 million for James Maddison. Obviously, no formal bid has been put in as yet, and Leicester are obviously, you know, in no rush, you know, to sell James Maddison. But obviously, James Maddison's not going to intend on spending the rest of his playing career career with Leicester. He'll want to take his footballing career to the next level. He'll want to go to a competitive elite level football club, that can compete, win trophies and be in Champions League football. But I think from James Maddison's perspective, his preferred destination is Manchester United, even though he has got some reservations about joining Manchester United, because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But really, really good indeed. Last season for Leicester, scored 7 goals, provided 7 assists. Also, created more chances than any other player. So really, really good indeed. Like I said, an attacking midfielder. Leicester got him from Norwich last summer for £20 million. Obviously signed a 5-year deal with Leicester, so he's under contract with Leicester until 2023. So Manchester United are also in for him. But I do really, really like him a lot. Like I did basically say, there's quite a few defensive midfielders on our agenda, because I do believe that we need a centre defensive midfielder, because like I said, the Nemanja Matic, Nemanja Matic is too inconsistent, he's too slow. I've got strong reservations about Nemanja Matic, and plus he's aging up. Scott McTominay, he's too inexperienced at the moment. I think McTominay needs to get a bit more experience, even though McTominay, did demonstrate himself, towards the back end of last season, he can play well, he can hold his line well, he can play between the lines, but too inexperienced. And obviously, would let Fellaini go back in January. Obviously, Fellaini did serve about 6 years with the club. Obviously, we paid just over £27 million him. So I do believe that we need a holding midfielder. And obviously, there has been positive news coming out about Thomas Partey. Recently, obviously, he's been on Manchester United's agenda. I think there was a lot of talks going on about Thomas Partey last week, saying that Manchester United and Arsenal have inquired about his services. But he is available for a reasonable figure. I think his release clause is around £43 million, and his contract with Atletico Madrid. He's 25 years of age, so he has still got a lot of development in him. I think he's under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023. But recent reports have come out, as I've basically been updating you regularly, saying that he's interested in making the move to England, and he wants to make the move to England. And this is actually stemming from his dad. So basically, Thomas Partey's dad, basically said that he wants her to make the move to England. So do you think Thomas Partey, would be good for Manchester United if he was to come in? But we have been in there for him. He has spent the majority of his career with Atletico Madrid. Obviously, hasn't played in the Premier League yet. Like I said as well about Declan Rice, obviously, he's another defensive midfielder that Manchester United have been linked with. And I do like Declan Rice. Like I said, he's well Premier League proven. He initially learned his trade in the Premier League, did Declan Rice, and he's exceeded expectation levels well at West Ham. Obviously, he's been in West Ham senior squad. He's been at West Ham, a number of years. He's been in their senior squad quite a few years. It initially said before that West Ham would want around £50 million if they were willing to sell Declan Rice. But I do like him a lot. He's only 20 years of age, and he's the upcoming future. He's Declan Rice, and I think he's got a contract with West Ham till 2024. I think he signed this back in December of last year, so he's also been on Manchester United's agenda. So I'd love him to come to Manchester United. He's energetic, he breaks up the play really, really well, and of course well Premier League proven. So he's obviously been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime tags. So there's a number of midfielders on our agenda. Obviously Joe Felix, of course, he's obviously on Manchester United's agenda. Manchester United and Manchester City have obviously been long admirers of the player. He has been on our agenda for quite some time as Joe Felix. Obviously he's going to cost you around £105 million, because that's obviously his buyout clause. Obviously I think Benfica have made it clear that if they are willing to sell Joe Felix, that his buyout clause has to be triggered. But I think reports did say the other week that Manchester United and Manchester City are willing to trigger his buyout clause. He's only 19 years of age. Obviously it was only his first season in the senior squad last season with Benfica, but he did really, really well. He's got goals in him, he's got assists in him, he's energetic, and he's really, really good. He's Joe Felix. He's primarily an attacking midfielder, can also play as a winner, a striker, and a secondary striker. So I do really, really like Joe Felix a lot. Like I said, I don't think he's yet made his senior debut for Portugal, but I think from Joe Felix's perspective, I still think he remains uncertain about his future. I think Real Madrid have also been in for him. Obviously, Liverpool inquired about his services back in January. I think Liverpool had a bid turned down for Joe Felix back in the January transfer window. So quite a number of clubs have been in for Joe Felix. But as he updated you earlier on of what's going on in regards to Wilfred Zaha from Crystal Palace. Now it came out about this about 3 or 4 weeks ago, saying that he had made, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, saying that he'd made an admission, Wilfred Zaha, saying that he does want to leave Crystal Palace, because obviously I think the couple of main factor reasons why he wants to leave Crystal Palace, because obviously he wants to be in Champions League football, and I think he wants to take his footballing career to the next level. So I think Manchester United have been in for him. Also Arsenal have expressed their interest in Wilfred Zaha, but I think according to the media, as I've been reading up today, I think he has revealed that he has received a lot of direct messages, over the potential return to Manchester United. And maybe Wilfred Zaha, would be open, to making the return to Manchester United. Obviously, we had Wilfred Zaha when he was younger. Actually, it was Alex Ferguson's last signing before he announced his retirement at the end of that season. I think we paid around, was it £10 million for him? But obviously, he didn't really get the opportunity in his 2-year period with Manchester United when he was younger. I think he made about 4 senior appearances, did Wilfred Zaha, so it didn't really work out for him at Manchester United when he was younger. But I think, since he signed permanently for Crystal Palace in 2015, he has become an integral part of their team, and he has done really, really well indeed. He has exceeded expectation levels, and he's thrived under Roy Hodgson. I think he's got a contract with Crystal Palace till 2023. I think he extended his contract last summer, did Wilfred Zaha. But yeah, he's well Premier League proven. He initially learned his trade in the Premier League, so would you take Wilfred Zaha back at Manchester United? Well, he has spent the majority of his career with Crystal Palace, because he initially began his career with Crystal Palace, obviously risen up the ranks with them and all that, and then obviously came to Manchester United for a couple of years. I think then went back to Palace on loan, also had a loan spell with Cardiff. Obviously he's played under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Wilfred Zaha, so maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer may be keen on reuniting with a player, and then obviously signed permanently for Crystal Palace in 2015. I think the quoted fee is around £80 million that Crystal Palace want for him, or some reports did say they want around £100 million for him. Obviously, I think he did come out a couple of weeks ago saying that Arsenal are reluctant to pay up to £80 million for him, and I think Arsenal are only willing to pay £40 million for Wilfred Zaha. So yeah, there has been talk saying that he could possibly make a return to Manchester United. But like I said, he can play as a forward. He can also play as a winger. I think he can play on the right. He can play on the left. But I think the majority of his goals at Crystal Palace, have obviously have come centrally. So the majority of goals at Crystal Palace have come when he's been playing centrally. Wilfred Zaha, and I think he's 26, so he's still in his prime. He has still got a lot of years ahead of him. So would you take Wilfred Zaha back at Manchester United? Of course. I've already obviously given you the latest news of what's going on with Romelu Lukaku. There's still a possibility chance that he could remain at the club. Lukaku, obviously based on this, that Inter Milan have got to raise around £40 million, before the 30th of June, to meet financial fair play regulations, and obviously Lukaku's move now could be under threat, due to the financial fair play rules. Obviously, his proposed move to Inter Milan also could be a stumbling block, obviously, based on the huge transfer fee that we've put on him, because obviously, a lot of reports were coming out last week saying that we were demanding that we wanted around £80 million for Lukaku. So basically, we're demanding the majority of the money that we did pay, that we're demanding, basically, we're looking to recoup the majority of the money, that we paid for him from Everton back in 2017, because obviously, we paid £75 million for him, plus £15 million in add-ons, which had initially risen the deal to £90 million, and obviously Lukaku's still got 3 years left on his contracts. But I've already given you obviously all the news about Lukaku, but I hope that we can currently sell Romelu Lukaku, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Like I said, it's going to be looking like Alexis Sanchez should be leaving the club, because he's been so inconsistent for Manchester United. Obviously, was it yesterday I give you the latest news about Koulibaly from Napoli. Obviously, it did say Manchester United were preparing to put a bid in for him of around £84 million. I think, obviously, this is going to be unlikely to convince Napoli to currently sell him off. Obviously, it came out the other week saying that we had around a 90 or was it a £95 million bid turned down for him. I think also Real Madrid had a £90 million bid turned down for Koulibaly. I think now actually Napoli don't want to sell him, because obviously, as it came out the other week, that they have priced him out of the transfer market, because they were demanding an extortionate price of around £150 million, and obviously Manchester United are not going to pay £150 million. Obviously, Real Madrid are not going to pay £150 million. Don't get me wrong, I like Koulibaly a lot, to be quite honest, but I don't see us getting him down, to be quite honest with you, even though it came out the other week saying that we have identified him as our number one priority target, and all that, and obviously it was blatantly made clear that we would have to break the world transfer record for him, but Manchester United are not willing to pay up to the £150 million for him. Obviously, last year we had 3 bids turned down for him. I think we had a £95 million bid turned down for Koulibaly last year. Obviously, he's still under contract with Napoli till 2023. like I said, Napoli, he's been at Napoli 5 seasons and he's exceeded expectation levels really, really well. He's 27. I think Koulibaly is nearly 28 years of age, but he is regarded as one of the best centre-backs in the world. But I think now we are set to miss out on Koulibaly this summer. But obviously, the rumours have continued to persist linking Koulibaly with a move to Old Trafford, since last summer under Jose Mourinho, and obviously the process started under Jose Mourinho. But now, to be quite honest with you, I don't see us getting Koulibaly. So there has been a number of central defenders on our agenda, of course. Obviously, Toby Alderweireld. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on bringing Toby Alderweireld in. Obviously, I think it did say last week we were set to make a decision sometime this week whether we were going to go in for Toby Alderweireld or not. Obviously, we know he's available for £25 million this summer because that's his initial release clause. But like I said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. But obviously, we've got to get the right players this summer, because you can see that there's cultural problems at the club. In regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if everything goes wrong going into next season, I will be critical of him. I will want him out of my club. Even though I thought he was a great player for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. I know he hasn't really got the experience of a manager. He hasn't really won much. He won a couple of Norwegian titles with Mold, but he hasn't really got the experience of a manager. But like I said, let's see who we can get in this summer, and let's see what happens going on into next season. That's what what all we can do. Basically, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was saying towards the back end of last season that he had been contacted by a number of agents, saying that their players of course want to come to Manchester United, because we are still a massive, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world, even though we are a toxic club at the moment. We have been playing catch up for a number of years. But we are a toxic club at the moment. But we are the most successful team in England, historically, obviously 13 Premier Leagues and all that, obviously, 20 all in all. Obviously, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, and that was obviously in Alex Ferguson's last season. But you can say that season, Robin Van Persie, was the player that won us the league that season. Was it about 30 goals he scored that season, Robin Van Persie? But like I said, I think we're a number of years off, from winning the league, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, that's mainly everything to update today. So we do know Daniel James is going to be our first signing, which is very, very good. Like I said, I think he's set to complete his medical today. He said he was going to be undergoing his medical today. But we have got him for £15 million with add-ons included, which do potentially rise up to around, is it 17 or 18 million pounds. So hopefully, he can succeed at Manchester United, can Daniel James. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, like, support on the channel. If you do consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.